Hello and welcome to Out Motorsports, the channel for cars as you are. My name is Tyler and we are here in Bear Mountain, New York with International Motor Press Association, and we are getting a chance to drive quite a few cars that I haven't had the opportunity to drive yet. And that includes this 2023 Alpina XB7. The last time I was here in 2021, I got to drive the Alpina B8 Grand Coupe in the absolute pouring rain. Thankfully today is much nicer and we have a few moments with this XB7 to give you some first impressions. So let's get it out on the road and see what we think. Okay, so setting off in the Alpina XB7, this car has the same twin turbocharged V8 as quite a few things in BMW's lineup, but it is retuned from Alpina to give it some special characteristics. It is making 631 horsepower, and this car weighs almost 6,000 pounds. So we're about to see how she do. Swap over into manual mode. And honestly, it's really not bad considering the size and weight of this vehicle. Something that Alpina has always been known for is that they're more of the grand touring BMW. They're the more sophisticated, grown-up BMW. And now that BMW is really kind of leaning into SUVs and crossovers, and they have so many M cars that are SUVs or crossovers, that's kind of counterintuitive in my mind, right? If you want to go quick, you'd rather get a smaller thing like the M2 than you would necessarily a crossover. But this makes a lot more sense to me. This grand touring, high horsepower SUV feels kind of right. It's funny in practice or in theory, but it just feels right. This isn't trying to be anything that it isn't. It's still a 6,000 pound SUV, but it feels confident in the corners, even though it has a very comfortable ride. The damping isn't necessarily as stiff as an M car, but it is still very controlled. There is a little bit of wallow, especially in comfort mode. But again, this is a 6,000 pound SUV with 3 rows. So yes, it makes 631 horsepower. No, it doesn't necessarily feel like it thanks to the weight, but it makes way more horsepower than an SUV needs or sometimes even necessarily should. And now that we're stuck behind some slower traffic, I have a chance to cruise a little bit, and it's quiet, it's smooth, it's refined, as you would expect an Alpina product to be. I'd imagine this covers miles insanely well in comfort and crazy style, because this thing really stands out. It's this gorgeous blue color, and BMW has told me that this is one of only 2 on the East Coast right now. So they're still a very special car. Alpina kind of breathes on these in a different way, in a different factory than the regular BMWs. So this is something pretty special to drive. I'm going to put this in sport mode now, and the digital gauges have changed a little bit. They're a little bit more aggressive now in the Alpina colors. They're green, blue, and red, which is the Alpina colors. So Alpina's put a lot of touches into this, both with programming and some tuning. So I'm in sport mode and I'm on these bumpier roads now. And much like every other Alpina I've driven up here, it takes these bumps fantastically, right? You would think that because these tires are such low profile and that this vehicle is so big that these bumps would upset it, but they don't. These are Northeast New York potholes, and they're not small, right? It snows up here, and the weather is pretty aggressive, and the Northeast is known for their lack of road quality, and this swallows them up just fine. Tipping this into the twisties, it really is uncanny just how this thing sort of feels like it rotates around you. BMWs have always had that thing where they feel like you're rotating on an axis, and even though that might have kind of gone away a little bit in recent years, feel in your body and the feel in the chassis is still there. So this was only a very quick first impression with this Alpina XB7, but much like I always am with these cars, I've come away very impressed with its luxury, its responsiveness, its comfort, and just how this mixes sportiness and comfort all in the same time. It's meant to be fast and cover speed and cover ground very quickly. It's an Autobahn bruiser. a 6,000-pound one at that, but it is quite impressive that it's able to do the things it does considering how much it weighs. So, as always, to wrap up this review, I want to thank BMW for coming out to IMPA Test Days and letting us drive this. Hopefully we can get some press cars from them in the future and work with them a little bit more. But until then, this will have to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please check us out at outmotorsports.com, on Facebook and Instagram at Out Motorsports, and we'll see you next time.